What caused this shift in Arizona that, many had anticipated? This is obviously a battleground state. It's a place to watch. And if you're a Politico, you're watching to see Arizona gain this seat, and it didn't. So, what was happening behind the scenes, perhaps, that made this?
Many people are speculating that potentially it is, in fact, the Latino population of Arizona who may have been undercounted. There was a big controversy last year over adding a question about citizenship to the US Census. Many argued that by asking about citizenship status, a lot of families might feel as though the census was invasive. Maybe there was information that they did not want to reveal. Maybe they were not comfortable revealing their citizenship status. But what will really help us to understand that is when the census releases later this summer data on ethnic groups per state. And if we can see in the census data that the Hispanic and Latino community in Arizona seems to be undercounted, that might suggest that there was a systematic undercount, but it's just too early to say.
There is always the concern that the voices in large metropolitan communities, carry more weight. Will that be the case as we look into the next few years, given what the census has revealed early on?
I think this is a real ongoing debate sort of in American politics. Who has more power, the people in the rural areas or the people in the urban areas? And you could really make an argument either way. Now, on one hand, urban areas have much larger concentration of people, a greater population. As a result, we tend to have more representation and probably more influence in government. On the other hand, others argue that people in rural areas are maybe overrepresented in government, given how few people live in rural areas. So if you think about it proportionally, I'm not sure it's necessarily the case that urban areas have more power. They certainly have more people. And this is a trend we are seeing in Arizona more than almost any other state in the country, where we really are seeing rural areas empty out, urban areas fill up. In fact, in 2020, the counties in Arizona where Trump improved over his 2016 returns were the counties that either lost population or stayed stable. The counties where Biden improved over Clinton's performance in 2016 were the counties where the population really grew a lot.
Is Arizona still considered that battleground that will be much sought after in the elections that are coming our way?
Absolutely. I was just going through with my students some data on which specific cities received the most money for television ads in the presidential campaign, and Phoenix was number one in the ranking that we were looking at in the entire country. So, I mean, many of us in Arizona felt, I think, for the first time, really, a huge influx of flyers and door knockers and TV ads, and that was with the pandemic going on. So, cross your fingers, 2024, no pandemic, more in-person contact. I think we can expect to really be the target of a lot of political campaigning.
All right. Political science professor Samara Clark from the University of Arizona. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.